What we are getting to know is that Infosys is out with its quarterly results, and let me just take you through the numbers. At present, net profit stands at 7,360 crore rupees versus NDTV profit estimates of 7,256 crore rupees. Revenue stands at 44,490 crore rupees versus estimates of 43,945 crore rupees. And to decode further, I'm joined by my colleagues Puneet and Jasmeet, who have been tracking the space very closely. So Puneet, what are you making of these numbers? Is it a surprise for you?
Well, they're largely very strong numbers, to say the least, because we have seen the growth was, the number of revenue growth was expected to be somewhere around 43,945, and the number is quite higher than that. In terms of profit as well, it is a beat in terms of the estimates that we were working with. 7,256 is what we were working with. The number has come in at 7,364. We'll also wait by to get the EBIT margin. There you go, 21.02% versus 21.3%. We were expecting a slight inch in terms of the EBIT margins. But, on these four numbers, on revenue, on EBIT margins, as well as profitability, numbers largely in line with what the estimates were. So you have seen Wipro come out with numbers which are in line with estimates. Now it's Infosys that's gathering pace as well. I quickly want to highlight the large deal TCV numbers as well. $3.1 billion for this particular quarter. Again, in line with the estimates of $3 billion, and the estimates were baking in some key deal wins to happen in Q2 of FY26. That seems to have played out perfectly for the company in this particular quarter. The other aspect is in terms of constant currency, 2.2% quarter-on-quarter constant currency. That's of course on the dollar basis. The number varied across brokerages between 1.8 to 2.3 as well. So in terms of the numbers, in terms of these two aspects, it seems to be that the numbers are largely in line with its estimates as well, and that's a key positive. But in terms of the other sectors also, we have seen that the financial services, manufacturing, energy, all three seem to have grown in this particular quarter, but definitely a strong number to say the least. We'll also be joined by Sushovan. He's the IT analyst at Anand Rathi. Very shortly, he will give us a lowdown of what these numbers mean, because we have the press conference of Infosys also at 4:15. So a lot more will be gathered from what Salil Parekh says in that particular press conference. But a really strong show, to say the least, in terms of Infosys as well as Wipro. And now that we already have numbers for TCS, apart from the investments in data center, which got taken out by the market in a negative sense, the results for all three companies seem to be quite in line with the estimates. So it's a key positive, to say the least. In terms of guidance, it's now come in between 20 and 22%, and that's largely been maintained. We will be watching out for, in terms of the guidance for this year. It was expected to be 1 to 3%. If you have those numbers, you can share with us as well, Jasmeet, if they've actually met this particular guidance number also.
Well, right, they're expected to be maintained between 1 to 3% for this particular quarter, and margins will maintain with 20 to 22%. Given this set of margins, we see that it's largely in line with what was expected. Well, what's interesting would be the employee headcount addition to watch out for. They have added nearly 8,000 employees. Given where the IT giants are declining people, given on the addition of the AI, we see companies coming out and hiring more people. While more people hiring brings in the momentum that companies confident about the future growth. While on the other hand, also the deal win clocking at 3.1 billion, pretty much in line with what was estimated. I will all in all a good set of numbers, given that the last TCV deal win is up 67% for this particular quarter, and as well as the free cash flow clocking 1.1 billion, showing that the deal wins are summing up into the revenue as well as the cash flow moving in to the company. Well, what's interesting to watch out is the manufacturing sector. Given that we have noticed softness for other IT giants, we see the company has seen an uptick in manufacturing sector. On the other hand, also the high-tech sector, the high growth momentum, which particularly causes for IT firm, is also sees an uptick. On the other hand, all in all, a good set of numbers. While if you look at the geography-wise, we see that Indian geography has seen an uptick. Similar trend to seen even in the Wipro, given that the overall Asian market has seen an uptick. So this shows that clients are actually pumping up money from India as well. So what are your views on this, Puneet?
Well, largely, we have seen that in this particular quarter again. The headcount addition number was definitely a key positive, because 8,800 you did highlight, Jasmeet, from roughly 3.2 lakh employees, 3.23 lakh employees. They have now moved to 3.3 lakh as well. And attrition, again, it's not too much of a problem right now for the industry as well. Roughly between 14.2 and 14.3% for Infosys, for Wipro as well. largely maintained that 14.9, but definitely a key positive to say the least as well. Because we have seen multiple key factors as well in terms of what we've seen for Infosys, and we will be looking at for the number of guidance as well. I still haven't got it, but the guidance was 1 to 3% for this particular year for Infosys. Largely, we are expecting that to be maintained at 1 to 3%. But if that is revised, even at the lower end of the guidance, that'll be something to watch out for. But it's definitely a key number to say the least as well. We are looking, actually, they have actually revised the guidance to 2 to 3% now. So that's another key positive number coming in for Infosys, that it was 1 to 3 earlier. It's now come in at 2 to 3%. Announcement for dividend has also been made at 23 rupees per share. That's another key positive for Infosys in this particular quarter. But, it's actually been a good evening for all these IT players, because margins also, Infosys was at 20.8%. Now at 21%, and while the estimates were of 21.3, largely seems to be quite okay for Infosys at this point of time. So definitely, multitude of factors that's working in line for the company, and that's a key positive to say the least. Amongst others, they have highlighted in terms of sectors, as Jaspreet was also highlighting, that we had seen a multitude of positive factors that was leading as well in terms of utilization, including trainees. That's coming at 82.2%, while excluding trainees, that's at 85.1% as well. Onshore mix largely maintained, so is the one for offshore as well. But in terms of the active number of clients, it's gone up to 1,896. It was at 1,861 in terms of the active clients per share, and that's been one of the key aspects. Added during the quarter was 118.
Now, when you look at the overall deal win, though it's a bit less compared to what was in the previous quarter, but still the previous quarter had seen quite some large deals. So all in all, a good set of numbers. Seasonally, is supposed to be a stronger quarter for the company. So as this company has already beaten the estimates, while the street expecting a CC growth between 1.8 to 2.2, again, there's a beat on that as well. While on the other hand, the efficiency would be coming in from the dollar tailwind. Well, that's something to watch out for, how much of forex is that being added, and the guidance commentary. Though Steve was expecting the commentary to be pretty much sustained, but this is a positive surprise by the company. What do you make out of the results, Himakshi?
Absolutely, Jasmeet. And, if I need to ask you, you both, that if there's some single-digit number that you need to point out, which is the highlight that you're seeing, by seeing the results, so what would that number be? What has caught in your eye?
I think definitely the guidance, because, a lot less what brokerages were making out in terms of revision of the guidance in this particular quarter to 2 to 3% as well.